Hey, what's going on, world? Maurice right over this way, and today what I want to talk to you guys about is, well, why you should know the numbers as far as what you want to do as far as generational growth for your income, as well as generational growth for your business. Because let's be real, y'all. Let's be real. 9 times, if not 10 times out of 10 within this world, a lot of the problems that we somehow seem to face always has a money side to it. And I feel like by erasing the money side to whatever problem you're facing, you can at least have a solution to be able to handle the problem you're facing. But, you know, let's face it, we all work in particular jobs. We're all in our own particular mindsets. But I want to make it clear, like, once you start to understand the numbers of what is actually possible out here, you should say, go and travel into a more entrepreneurial type of mission or lifestyle, or, you know, you want to continue to work your 9 to 5 or whatever the case. The fact of the matter is, what will you settle for in this world? Like, who are you? How much do you truly value yourself? Are you an individual that will spend 40 hours of their life away for $8 an hour? Or are you an individual that will spend the same 40 hours on yourself, or, you know, in a more higher marginal type of business that it's going to, you know, net you around $20,000, $40,000, $50,000 within a month? To understand, there's only two types of people out here. Those that want to, you know, be more on a marginal basis, and those that want to be, I guess you could say, more on a time volume basis. But basically, by whatever decision that you take, you can at least have a good indication of what your life may look like because of the income bracket or the income that you are making and bringing home to the family, bringing home to yourself, bringing home so that you can go ahead and endeavor in all the things that you want to endeavor. So let's just go ahead and let's just start out with a basic number. I like to usually just start out with, let's say, you're an individual that wants to make like $10 an hour, right? So we're going to take $10 an hour, right? And let's say you're working at a job 40 hours in a week. So we're going to take that out times 40. That, by the end of the week, let's assume that that job is going to pay you, you know, every week, okay? Some jobs pay 2 weeks, some pay monthly. It just depends on, you know, when they pay you. For simplicity, let's just say $10, you know what I'm saying, for a week. So that would be $400, right? You would have made $400 within a week, right? Now, let's say you do that same amount of time, you carry it to the second week. That's the same thing. So 10 times 40 equals for another 400. So alone within a 2-week span, you made $800, right? You do the same exact 2 weeks, just like that. You working 40 hours a week, so 10 times 40 equals 400 to get you up to $1,200 right here. And then last but not least, because we're talking about the month, do the same thing. So you're going to work, you know, for $10 for 40 hours a week, and you do that. That's another $400. So 400 plus 200 is $1,600. So let's just say you stayed consistent with that. You worked on average 4, 8, 12, 16, 160 hours for the whole entire month to only get yourself roughly about $1,600 before taxes. Bill, with taxes, once we start adding that in, you really possibly only made about, I'm going to just say $1,400 on a high end. You know, about $1,400. So $1,400 is what I guess you could say you value yourself at, and $1,400 is what I could say you will live off of for the month or the year, however, you know, remaining time that you want to live at this $1,400 level. We're not going to be discussing today about, you know, expenses, etc., because this more so video is only going to be about what numbers can look like once you understand the numbers. So that particular solution for you to make around $1,600 to $1,400 in a month, you're going to need to work a job that's netting you about $10 an hour, but you need to stay consistent with 40 hours for 160 hours throughout the month to get you 16 before taxes, about 14 with taxes. So let's just go ahead and erase this out. The reason why that I'm very big on entrepreneurialism and more so sales and understanding the numbers is because when you walk into this field, you're not going to be paid on your time. You're going to be paid on what you can produce. And what you can produce in this particular realm, you can write literally your paycheck once you know the numbers. So I'm going to just use a company that I particularly work with right now, which is National Motor Club of America. They pay their associates $50 per sell, okay? This is going to be be where time is very different as opposed to, you know, actual producing. Because again, within the sales environment, within the entrepreneurial environment, with anything that requires you to be, your income to be more on a results type of basis, to know the numbers and to know what you're working with is definitely gracious to get you where you're trying to go. So let's say for the company I work with, which is National Promoter Club of America, NMC, gracious company, all sorts of benefits, yes. They pay their associates, so marker, don't down me now. Let me go grab me another marker. You gotta love, you know, these markers sometimes. I'll be back. All right, I'm back, y'all. We got another marker. Isn't that so gracious? I'm so happy that you guys waited for me, because now we can get into that good stuff so that you can go ahead and make some serious money however you look at it. But let's say again, with my company, without further ado, they're paying their associates $50, okay? They're paying their associates $50 every week for every sale that for everyone that we can bring to the company so that they can go ahead and benefit with the gracious benefits that the company has to offer, right? So I know if I'm paid $50 per each transactional sale that's acquired through an electronic bank draft, I know that in order, if I were to bring in 2 people within the week, 50 times 50 is still at the end of the day at $100, right? So you could think about it like this. You could get in when you're in the sales and entrepreneurial lifestyle result type of work, you can look at numbers like this can happen in a day. This can happen in like two hours. A number like this can happen in an hour. But the biggest thing that you want to take away from this is the fact of, if you want to make $100, you would just need to sell this particular product 2 times, right? Now, let's take the same equation, but let's bring it into the whole, that $10 an hour example so you guys can really see what happens. So let's say you want to go ahead and make $1,600 selling something at $50. Now remember, within the entrepreneurial lifestyle environment, it's not off time, it's off results, and it's about the production as far as you getting the transactional sales so that the company grows, you grow, and the people that come into the company grow as well too. So let me just bring out my calculator right now. I wish I could just do it by head, but hey, I guess I'm not a mathematician. But so let's take 50, or excuse me, let's take our $1,600 example, right? So what is X? If I want to get to $1,600 within a week or a month or however. So I would take $1,600 and I would divide that out by 50. 1,600 divided by 50 will get you 32. So I would need to make 32 sales or 32 transactional occurrences in order to get myself to $1,600. That can be broken down in so many different ways. That could be broken down into like 1 sale a day for 30 days in a month. That could be broken down into like 4 sales a week, about 5 sales a week, roughly-ish. That can just be broken down into many ways. But I know that if I want to go ahead and get to $1,600 within a month, then I need to go ahead and sell this 32 times so that I can get my $50. Now, if a company is paying you weekly and you should just so happen to hit, 32 sales in 1 week, guess what happens? You would have made $1,600 in 1 week. You do that same exact thing, 6 to 32, 32, 32, 50, 50, 50. Still keep the same equation. You figure 1,600 times 4 alone, because again, if you're paid every week and you hit 32 sales within a week, a day, however you hit that, that's still money to you. So 1,600 divided by, times 4 would be $6,400. Do you understand what happens when you start to understand the numbers of whatever it is that you choose in order to make your money? There's a different game when you go from a time type of living to make your money to a more results type of living to get your money. Because at that point, you can start writing your own checks, because that if you were to hit 32 sales each week for 4 weeks, you're going to get yourself $6,400. But now, let's just do the math. Let's just treat these 32 people, these 32 sales as hours. Same exact equation from the last one as far as 40 hours a week. Let's just say 32 hours a week. Let's just see what happens, all right? We'll just treat the 32 as far as hours go. So 32 times 4 would be 128 hours. So you can think about it like this. Instead of spending, 160 hours to just get myself $1,600, being paid 40 hours a week, or being paid about 40 hours a week for, at a $10 an hour rate, I know that at 160 hours, that would only net me about $1,600. But if I were to place 128 hours into a vehicle like this, then that would at least equate me out to $6,400. And the numbers can only add up that much more, depending on any vehicle that you should just so happen to, line yourself up with. Now, I don't know about a lot of y'all, but a lot of us noticed, we work our jobs, we go ahead and we do what we can to provide for our family, but somehow between the working and all the hours that we're putting into our own craft or our own income, we're barely making it. Like, you had people working 160 hours just to pay enough of their bills to have $100 left in a month. And we have a whole world, and that person and that family has all sorts of aspirations, plans, and all sorts of jazz, But plans will start to get delayed. Your aspirations will start to get delayed because you're not making enough money. A lot of your problems, a lot of anything that you are doing can easily be solved by simply making more money. Now, how that takes form for you is completely on you. But let me just give you a more abundant number, because a lot of y'all know I'm about abundance. I'm about, the lifestyle living, and I'm definitely about that graciousness. So let's say I keep this same formula with the company I'm working with that's paying you $50 every week, right? Or, $50 per sale, and they're paying by week, right? But let's say I want to make $20,000. Now, to some, that would be impossible, but to most, and especially if you're on my particular channel and following me, you live within a pretty abundance type of mindset. You know what type of money and you know what type of numbers like people was producing, just simply because we are in the realm of people that is getting results, getting a lot of money, and at the same time giving back to the communities in gracious ways that a person making only $1,600 can. You know what I'm saying? Again, I want y'all guys to understand, it's not about, what money you make. It's about what you do with that money, and who you are with money will ultimately show once you start to make a lot of money. So, again, let's just say you want to make $20,000 selling a product that's going to give you $50 per sale. How many sales do I need to, incur to get me that $20,000? And let me pull out my handy dandy calculator, and let's just get the jazz going. All right then, so we're gonna do that same formula now. 20,000 divided by 50. 20,000 divided by 50. You guys see the math? You know what I'm saying? Y'all guys see what it is. Y'all know what it is. I know I don't have any stupid people on my channel, so there we go. 400 times. So I sell this particular product. Now, I'm being paid $50 per sale, but I sell that 400 times, I will make myself $20,000. That could be within a month, that could be in a week, that could be in 2 weeks. That's just however you can get to that number in a month, or, in your own time span. But the most important thing is you want to understand the numbers in your game, because once you understand the numbers in your game, again, you can write your own checks. What would some of y'all do if y'all made $20,000 in 1 month? A lot of people think that it is impossible, but that's, the less, I guess you could say, abundant people are the ones that don't know, which is why I'm here, because I want to teach and I want to show y'all what is really good in the neighborhood as far as what is really going on. Why you don't have to stress, why you don't have to worry like how most people do. All you got to do to get to the cheese and to get to the solutions is simply making more money. It's all about the dinero. We live in a very economic type of world, and the sooner that you can come to grasp with that, the sooner that you can understand that, will be ultimately the sooner and faster that you can go ahead and start relinquishing all your gracious stuff. Oh yeah, my speaker's powering off. But yo, so again, y'all, now I do want to say, if you guys do want to get linked up with an opportunity like this, go ahead and message me or click the link above and below, and I'll go ahead and get you set up, because really to get set up with my company that gives you this opportunity, it's really just $49 paid through your electronic bank draft option. You got to click the initial and ongoing method. Now, your electronic bank draft is just simply your routing account number and your checking account number. It's how the company screens people and knows who's serious and who's not, and who actually wants the services and benefits, because the company that I work for happens to be more of a direct selling type of company. But the number like this 400 right here would be impossible for me to get if I were to market this offline. I would need to talk to 400 people and entice 400 sales in order to get to this $20,000 marker at $50, right? But what do we have? We have the internet. How many lives is the internet touching? Billions. We have 7 billion people in this world. Now, let me ask you this. If you had a product or a vehicle that you knew if you could get to this number would net you $20,000, would you even take the time to learn it? Would you take the time to, get a good understanding of it? Because I'll tell you right now, if you were to do something like that and take the time, you could achieve that for yourself, because at the end of the day, to talk to 400 people via the internet is as simple as a video like this that's just shot to the masses. If I know that Facebook, for instance, is touching about 1.3 billion people, if not more, last time I checked, it's probably more by now. And I only need 400 to make this. Guess what happens? All attention can go exactly into, making sure you do get a company, or you do get your service out, or you do get your results out. The time to necessarily work for your time is over. I mean, you got to do something that you love at the end of the day, but I want to keep it so true with y'all, because what happens if I were to keep consistent at $20,000 a month, and I take that out times for 12 months, what would I have netted before taxes? Of course, yeah, we'll have taxes and IRS taxes, but let's just look at it like this. A lot of us ain't even making $20,000 yet. So if we're not making $20,000 yet, then what the number I'm really about to show y'all, if you do some shit like this and you carry this out for a whole entire year, what would that look like for you? So peep game. Speaking of peep game. All right, then, so let's take 20,000 and take it out times 12. Y'all see the number? $240,000. Is that possible? Is it manageable? Well, again, if you know the numbers and you know what you're working with, yeah, it's very much possible. Now, people say they don't have time, and people, say that, they want more in life. But let's face it, y'all, when you want more in life, you kind of will make time for, something that will net you more. I mean, what type of individual, I'm going to revert it back to the beginning. What type of individual are you? Are you a $1,600 individual? Are you? Or are you at least a $20,000 individual? And this is only off of one vehicle. Understand, within this world, we have many different vehicles and rackets to get you to whatever financial goal that you have for yourself. But it starts by understanding the numbers. The same amount of time a lot of us put into our time, I guess you could say time jobs, that's how I'll put it, our time jobs, if we were to take that same amount of time and apply it to ourselves, this is why you'll hear a lot of entrepreneurs, including myself, saying you need to invest into yourself, because if you take that time by investing into yourself, you will move from a $1,600 individual, boom, to the 20K. And to be real, you could do it in a month. You could do it in a week. As this channel grows, as more videos get posted out, understand, we'll be diving deep in a lot of this aspectful type stuff, because once you get a general and really good aspect of what's really going on, I promise you'll leave your job. Now, I get it. You may be happy at your job. You have the promotions and benefits and all that jazz. But if you know that you can make at least $240,000 in 1 year simply by promoting a particular product without all the headache, and you know that your general expenses, or maybe you got debt, or maybe you got a little bit of, student loans, or, maybe some people's going through the court system, so they got fines for there. It just depends on whatever all that can vanish. All of that. You don't have to continue to struggle to pay your bills, to continue to struggle to pay, your expenses, to pay off your debt, to pay off any of that. You don't. Because again, when you know your numbers, it's just a matter of you finding a vehicle, plugging yourself into this vehicle, and basically letting that vehicle drive. And as you drive through the vehicle, you might, experience some road bumps along the way. You know what I'm saying? You might, have to switch lanes. But once you start driving and you switching lanes and experiencing the bumps going up and down and everything, guess what happens? Boom. You hit that $20,000 mark, and then life, everything changes. Most people want to make $10,000 in a month. I need to make $20,000 because I just understand the numbers. And once you understand the numbers, it's going to be great. Because I want you to. Because once you get great, I get great. So if I get great, I can become more great. So I can become and make more people great just like you. I mean, that's the name of the game. That's life. That's something I'll be known for. I'll be known for bringing people up, and I will be known for making people a lot of fucking money. Just because I understand the game. That's when the game gets fun. When you understand the game, to get to a number like this can become very fucking simple. But it's the realization of the game that will hinder you the most. Because if you don't realize the game, and you just trying shit and switching lanes, trying shit, guess what happens? It's like you're going this way and that way without a particular direction, and the next thing you know, don't believe me? Trust me, I've lived it, and I've already done that. Believe me, I've done that. I've been a confused one. I went this way and this way and this way and this way and that way and going this way and delayed out this way just to have everything go. It's a different feeling. But it will build you. It will build you. So, like I said, y'all, this is just a basic understanding of the numbers and what numbers you could really, want for yourself. I mean, again, are you an individual that, really is about lacking and just you're content with making about $1,400? Or are you an individual that just wants more in life? Fuck, what would you do with an extra $10,000? $10,000 carried out for a whole year for 12 months is still at the end of the day $120,000. And I guarantee you that's more than a lot of people are making. Oh, by the way, you can make these numbers without a college degree, without any of that traditional shit that we're always taught as far as, oh, we need to go to school. Oh, we need to work for slave away at our job for 40 hours a week for the rest of our lives for about up until 80. And then, oh, now we need to retire with what? A 401k? I guarantee you, if you can make $20,000 in a month and you do that shit for 2 years, at the end of the day, that's still $40,000 for $480,000. Because 20,000 times 12 is still $240,000 from the calculator. And you do that times 2. If 240 times 2 is 280, that's 280,000. Excuse me, 480,000. Yeah, y'all thought y'all got me real quick. But no, that would be $480,000. I guess you just made your 401k. Oh yeah, in 2 years, not by 65, not by 55, and definitely not by some gracious old number to where you can't even really enjoy the money. Our mission is to provide for our families. Our mission is to provide for our people, and our mission is to ultimately provide for this world in however way that you choose. But a lot of it starts from the money. Because once you understand the numbers, you'll get to the money. That part is inevitable. You will get to that. There's plenty enough rackets again out here that can get you to that. If you are looking for a racket, go ahead again. Message me, click the link above or below, and I can go ahead and get you all set up and everything. If you should just so happen to want to take on my vehicle, again, it's only going to cost you a one-time fee of $49. The $49 is a $20 enrollment fee, as well as the $29 Security Shield Benefit Package membership. That's going to give you a lot of benefits. But then at the same time, you'll be able to go ahead and tell all your friends about this gracious company. You tell your friends about the gracious company, guess what happens? You're paid $50. Do that shit 40 to 400 times, you make $20,000. You want to know the quickest way to get to 400 people? Ads. And that's a whole other topic. Like I said, y'all, this world is too abundant. And I'm the individual to show you, and not only tell you, but I live this shit every day about how this world is abundant. Because when you truly understand what this world has to offer, you will see no negativity. You will be not only free from a lot of the restrictions that your common peers, families, associates will ever place on you. And ultimately, you can be and have that truest expression of your own individuality that may, resonate with the next. But it all starts with here. And then from here, everything comes out. But it starts from here by understanding here. Stay tuned for more videos, y'all. Again, y'all, my name is Maurice Wright. And I am here to give you all sorts of gracious entrepreneurial advice, tips, news, lifestyle abundance, all that jazz. Because I'm telling y'all, we're more than just one thing. We're very many. And the sooner that you can understand that, the sooner you can just, be free and have the most truest expression. And again, for anyone that wants to go ahead and get plugged up with a vehicle that is going to pay them the $50 and who wants training as far as, how to get to this number 400 so that they can make themselves $20,000 in a week, in a month, or however soon they can get to this number 400, make sure you go ahead again. Message me, DM me, comment down below, more info, or, just go ahead, click the link above or below to go check out and get all started. But once you do get started, make sure that you are a serious individual, because I will only be working with serious players and players that not only get the game, but ultimately want more of themselves. Everyone is coachable. Everyone is trainable. If you don't think you are, you're not going to benefit from me. If you cannot sign up using your routing account number and checking account number, don't even contact me. This is a movement. And it's time that people that are struggling, and it's time that people that have experienced any sort of lack stop experiencing that. Because I guarantee you have $20,000 in your bank account, shit, even $10,000 in your bank account. Or, hey, let's say you just really fucking struggling and you have an extra $1,000 in your bank account. What would your life look like? I think it would speak for itself, right? So again, y'all, stay tuned for more. This is Maurice Wright. I'm going to be closing out here with y'all, but most importantly, stay abundant, stay vibing, stay learning. And most importantly, know the numbers. Take it easy.